Ooh. Mess on the desk. Okay, everything working? Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. How does that sound? Hello, and we're back again with the Rapidus 130XE, featured in previous videos. Close look at this. Might as well take the camera off the bracket. Get some close up. What we've been doing is going to be tricky. We go. Got any? Oh, we've got some wire. Here we are. In here. There we are. Right. Use the mess on the desk, but what I wanted to try and show you is the routing of the VBXE signal wires. They fit quite nicely through those 5 holes vacated by the RF modulator, so I thought I would try that for a change. Something I hadn't tried before. Looks quite neat, and they come out on the bottom down there. I haven't soldered them in yet. I'm kind of wondering if I should sever those traces that go to those wires, actually. Interfere with anything. And there's the Rapidus. The Rapidus, I mean, that was an easy job. It's on 3 sockets plugged into the CPU socket. Hello, Herb. Hope the tests go well. Yeah, you and me both. So this was an easy drop-in thing. Honestly, from what was done before, it was simply a case of making up this cable. What might be of interest, carefully prise this off the board without throwing anything. What might be of interest was the places I used to pick off the signals for the Rapidus. Is it external select and something else? I can't remember. And another one down there. And you can see that stack of sockets down there. I forgot it needed that stack of sockets, actually, so I was a bit puzzled at first when I can I put this back in one-handed? Probably not. There we are. And that was pretty much it. So all I did was route these wires through there. Bit of a cable tie on here. Push this board in, so you haven't missed anything particular. You notice I took those capacitors off the SIO connector. Well, before I forgot to do it. There's a back view of the board. Stack of sockets. Rapidus, and it does power up. I did try it. It does power up, but we haven't looked in depth at anything yet. Now there's the RGB jack. That's got to be wired up yet. Green relief on the bottom. Come on, focus in. Focus in. Too bright, isn't it? There we are. That's better. What a nice clear picture. So there we are. Oh, there's Fook. Hello, Fook. These things looked a huge mess on my other 130XE. Yeah, I mean, it looks, if we pull the camera away a little bit, it kind of looks like a sort of a city skyline. Some sort of Norman Foster office block, but it has a certain aesthetic quality to it, I think. So yes, it does boot. I'm going to put this camera back where it was before. I have had a little guided tour, and of course the cable is now an unsightly mess. Yeah, I was talking about the SIO port. Oh, sorry, yes, this one looked neat. My other one looks like a monkey crammed in there. Alright, okay. Re-angle this a little bit. The other thing I've done, I did this off camera because I just didn't have time to, I don't have time to film everything. It's a bit of a distraction, probably noticed in a previous video when I forgot to solder 36 pins of a socket on, but I've done the here, the hole for this used to be the RF modulator, and now it isn't a perfect lineup actually, because I was a little bit hampered on this machine by the presence of this slot for the channel switch, which you don't get on PAL machine. So when I mounted the jack on the motherboard, I went as far left that way as I could, knowing that this would be a potential issue, and I sort of conversely erred on the side of caution. I didn't want these two openings to meet, so it's, I mean, it works fine and it looks nice, but a couple of millimeters to one side, but it can't be perfect. So that's what's been done here anyway. So I'll try and get the VBXE port wired up. Not any particular point of doing it on camera, because you won't be able to see it, because I don't have an RGB capture card. But never mind. Might as well get it wired up before we do anything else. I actually got a little bit late, and I'm going to be a bit rushed because I got sidetracked working on the BIOS update today for the Ultimate board. Been fiddling on with for an enormous amount of time. Just, it's surprising how many little things deserved attention, and having sort of sat on it for a few weeks, more ideas popped up, and an idea that popped up today. Oh, hang on a minute, I'm trying to do two things at once here. I want some shrink fit tubing for these wires. Yes, what was the idea that popped up today, which I was pleased about? I'm trying to remember. There were a few different things. Oh yes, the first thing was when you leave the BIOS setup menu, it previously said if you changed a setting without saving it, it previously said you know, lose changes, etc. Now, continuing search for perfection of the user interface, I thought, well, since the key to save settings isn't actually listed on at the bottom of the screen, ooh, what's all that? This could be a little bit confusing. because there's no obvious way to save the settings unless you know to go to the appropriate menu or press S or press X or B or whatever you want to do. Wouldn't it be nicer if the thing, if instead of asking you if you wanted to lose the settings and then just dumping you back in the menu system, it actually saved them for you if you said save them. And that required the design of a completely new sort of button thing. And then I thought, well, we'll have another profile, because you can have user setting profiles, two different profiles in the BIOS. And I thought, well, it's been long enough now and people ask for it, so that you've now got 3 profiles. And then I thought, well, why not have it so that when the splash screen's up, you can hit a key and switch between these 3 profiles when the machine boots up without going into the menu. So I've put that in as well, and trying to clean up screen transitions, things like that. So I've been fiddling on with all that stuff and got quite carried away. Okay, so what documents do I require? I want to set up, as soon as possible, a second monitor on this desk. Honestly, trying to show you what I'm looking at on the screen is next to impossible with one monitor. Where's the pinout for this? Oh, so if I drag this, yeah. Okay, so pin 1 ground is on the left. Focused. Right, so is this camera? So the bottom pin is blue. Where do we put blue? God, I hate doing this almost as much as I hate doing the cables. I really do. Side down. Oh, what? Reference machine. Get a reference machine. What would be? So confusing, these pins. Let's have a look inside this one. Oh. Right. Must remember to get the left and right audio in the right order as well. Alrighty, look. Look at this. This is mine. See, everybody else gets the best stuff, not me. This is before I decided I figured out how to drill the holes for the pins, the hole in the bottom of the board. But it does demonstrate that the yeah, I can see the orientation of the audio signals now. They are on the outside. So this diagram I've got on the desk here, this one here, got silver conductive paint all over it and stuff, is as I am looking at the connector. So I know where I am. Okay, so what would be the most sensible one to wire up first? Probably green. Green is the middle signal, so green is this one. Better put some flux on these pins. Oh, didn't put that much on. Blue signal. Sync. Audio. Yes. Right. Good. RGB control as well, not forgetting that one. Right. Okay. Here the fun begins. So the middle wire is green. Normally do this with a loop. Well, right. Green is this. Let's put some. How about we put some solder on the pins first? That would be a good idea. Extractor on. Ooh. Got to get some bridged pins. Okay. Hate doing this. Right. Right, that one's on. Next one, red. Red. One along. I won't shrink this tubing until it is tested. A bit long. Right, it's red. Blue. Bottom corner. RGB control goes on the end of the middle row. Put this light there because it's not plugged in. Plug that other light in because I can't see a damn thing. Better? A bit. Ground goes at the bottom pin. Tinned. Okay, that looks reasonable. Now audio, which I always got the wrong way around. Left top corner. On sync as well. Get the audio signals for a minute. Let's get sync sorted out. So synchronization is going to come from pin 15 of CD 4050, which I haven't socketed. Hopefully I won't need to, but it's going to be attached via a 330 ohm resistor. Just figure out how to position this for the best. Stick out that way. Pause. Wire. Good. Try and capture this window. Browser source. Window capture. Window capture. Create new window capture. That's good. It doesn't work. Okay, so much for that idea. Wire. Mister. Yeah. Leaving on here. In this pin 15 of CD 4050. See if we can get the thing attached in a seamly fashion. Oh. Bad. More sleeving. Right, sync is right at the far corner here, so pop over these wires. Absolutely no solder on it whatsoever. In you swine. Remnants of hot glue floating around as well, which doesn't help. Yeah, done. Okay, so we should at least get a picture. I can't really be bothered to figure out the which way around the audio goes. Probably should. What was the Mike's diagram for which pins which on the audio is on the other machine. So I'll test that before I shrink that tubing. And other than the audio signals, which are here, that's it. So now, let's forget about that and let us move on to, well, let's sweep the desk down a little bit. Let's put this back together. The place doesn't look complete pigsty. The screw holes on this case are so good. Yeah, we're trying to get a clean screen transition in this BIOS. It's fiddly when you've got... Are you stripped as well? Oh, Jesus, you're kidding me, aren't you? When you've got say missile graphics and stuff all over the place. The approach I took was to, because I wanted to shut the display down and I wanted the screen to go black, so I've got a vertical blank interrupt, which the only two shadow registers which are used, because everything else is set with display list interrupt, so the DMA control and the background color. And obviously once the background color is ridiculous, once the background color is black and DMA is turned off, you should have a black screen. That one's stripped as well. Holy shit. Every screw hole on this completely stripped. Oh well, not really worth putting this screw in anywhere. That one stripped. Hey, grip there. But yeah, getting strange glitches and a bit of a black art, getting nice clean screen transitions. What I found. Logically, it's very simple, but in practice, very strange effects with player missile graphics. Sort of every one time out of every 20 entries into the BIOS menu, the player missile graphics would sort of expand for a second. Look very ugly indeed. So once I found something that worked, I just left it alone. But anyway, we'll flash this to this machine, so we'll see what happens. What I haven't done yet is update the Rapidus plugin. We're going to need that for this machine. So, let's put this in the case. I don't even know if the keyboard works on this bloody thing. So let's find out. Right. Whoops. There we are. Almost the moment of truth. Well, I know it works, so anyway, spoils the surprise a little bit. Don't tell me this power switch needs to be replaced. You are joking. Hmm. Oh, you are. What? What's wrong with this power switch? One thing after another with these old things. Have a look. Oh yeah, look at this. Whoa, wow. Power switch is sort of bent backwards. Focus. Bent backwards, it's very, very hard to push it in. You have to try and realign this. That looks like it's a manufacturing fault because the thing's sat so low at the back. Looks really bad. Oh, yeah. Can we perhaps muddle through? I really fixed it now. See what's wrong with it. Damn. That's really bad. I wonder if that's a replacement switch that someone's put in. Quite poor. Doesn't seem to. Yeah, that looks like a replacement power switch. Me. Brilliant. I'll fix that later on if I've got time. In in a hurry now. Try again. But you see how it's sat back so far at the case, it's almost impossible to turn it on, so there's something else I'm going to have to fix. One thing after another. It's hardly any surprise that the things are falling apart after all these. Right, let's get on with it. Let's boot the machine up. Right. Power on. Ooh. Bit bigger. Right. Look, I've had that computer for many years, so unless someone replaced it around 23 or so years. The other 130XE I have here has a recessed switch like that too. Oh, is it you, Jason? Are you Fook? I haven't put two and two together. Good God. Well, the other thing I had to do on here, oop, can't see, can you? There's a 8-pin header on the VBXE there. I had to snip the back 2 pins off because it wouldn't clear the Rapidus. In fairness, it would clear, the Rapidus would clear it if you stacked yet another 40-way socket, so that would be 4 sockets plus the socket on the board. Oh, hello, Jason. That's nice to see you here. I had no way of knowing it was you. Unless I did and I just overlooked it. Yeah, I had to snip those other 2 pins off. They're not really needed, but that was the only problem. I mean, 3 sockets stacked on one on top of each other in the socket is enough. Okay, right, let's turn this. So, did we get the Rapidus? Have a look. There's our original Urimo setup. Sorry. So if we cold boot the machine again, should see the Rapidus BIOS message. Do not. Try again. Now this power switch is uncomfortably, it's bent. It's definitely bent in at the side, so maybe it was just a manufacturing thing. Oh, there's the Rapidus BIOS loader thing. So it's booting into, where is it booting into? Right, this is Rapidus setup. What mode are we in? We're in 65 C816 mode, and this is the Rapidus mode. Okay, so let's go into classic mode. Is your kind of not a compatibility mode. It's still it's a pseudo. Is the I don't know. I don't know if the primary it says primary CPU 6502C. So if that's what it says, that's what it must be. But it's still not turned off. Rapidus is off in a sort of a simulated sense. Is that little man in the logo, is he dancing up and down as well, going left to right, or is it just my capture device? Strange. As you'll see anyway, so if we exit, save and exit, so now we should be back down to around about 2 megahertz. So here we're no longer in the 65 C816 operating system. This is our standard operating system as provided by Ultimate 1 Megabyte. So if we... Now the problem that I kept encountering with this was eventually it boiled, after all the other problems were fixed, eventually what it boiled down to was instability. When you press reset in classic mode, the machine would reboot all the time. Hopefully this one won't. Looks pretty good actually. CPU isn't too hot yet. We were getting some strange thermally related issues, but this seems to be behaving itself quite well. So we can get into the ultimate BIOS, and we can get into the Rapidus setup. So now what we need to do, because what you can do with the new ultimate BIOS, I'm going to go back over to the source code for the BIOS because I'm midway between Rapidus plugin right now. God, I haven't sorted any of this crap out yet. Let me just edit this source code a bit. This is seat of pants stuff. Changed all the structures for the menus and everything, so I'm just, if you bear with me for a moment. Test it in the emulator to make sure I don't brick the machine. Right, does this look reasonable? Looks reasonable. Right. BIOS. Plugin. Type. Just so we save that. File it. And we got a mistake. Oh yes. 3 comma. Right, let's assemble the BIOS. Let's flash the BIOS. Do this for real in a minute. Just established it works. It'll work. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Right, okay, this looks fit to flash. Fit to flash. Okay, then let's see what we can do with this. Since it is only bouncing the logo, I'd assume that's correct. Does he normally not dance? He didn't used to. He just used to glide from left to right. I'm not sure why he would jump up and down now. Unless it's a sort of a field thing with this capture device. Unless he's got his spring in his step now because the machine works. I don't know. Or perhaps there's something wrong with him. I don't know. Okay, so let's, being sure that we are in classic mode. Actually, I would rather flash this with Rapidus completely disabled. Now, until we get the BIOS flashed, I'm going to do that by actually physically removing this wire. I'm not saying that the flashing won't work, but I would rather run UFlash until we get to grips with this machine. I'd rather run UFlash with the stock CPU. The fewer things that are on the bus, the better. Come on, yes, fine, there we are. Right, so Rapidus should now be off. We can verify this. Switch the machine on. Oh, nice. Okay, okay. So you don't like to be... Oh, I've got it plugged into the wrong holes, that's why. Whoops. Try again. There we are. Good. Right, now let's flash this. Do this. Log drive B. So the machine is now connected. You can't see it actually. See it. The machine is now plugged into the other PC with SIO to PC. Okay, right. Let's do it. X, you flash will run it with the X command, otherwise the Atari DOS driver for Sparta DOS X continually reads the entire file while it's adjusting the file pointer. So, recognize the hardware, that's a good sign. Could do the entire ROM. I probably will eventually, but let's just step through the update process. So let's update the main BIOS first and see what happens. All looking terribly encouraging so far. Next thing, loader. It really is this simple. This is unreleased stuff. You are the first to get this stuff. Finally, for the moment, our PBI BIOS. It's worth... I will replace the stock operating system selection on here because things like the high-speed operating system are more or less redundant because the high-speed drivers are built into the PBI driver now. I usually put OSB or something on, which can be quite useful. Altera Basic and whatnot and so forth. Okay, so press help and reset. Make sure there is our new BIOS. Woohoo, says Fook. Woohoo indeed. Yes. So this BIOS, which is, as I say, brand new, it's constantly changing and evolving, but it's nearly finished. I've got about 200 bytes left in this 16K space. Any changes now are more or less cosmetic. We'll set the clock. Let's set the clock. So we've got, instead of these lame contextual help messages along the status bar, I decided to dump them, and now it just tells you in more detail what keys actually do, rather than trying to add a gloss to the menu item itself. It's 17. It's 17. Of course, you'll have to adjust this for local time, of course. This is Greenwich Mean Time. 17. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Not 17. Jesus. It's 21. 30-ish. There we go. Good. PBI BIOS. We'll leave that off for the moment until we test it with a side cartridge. Let's have a look at the system information. Ultimate BIOS 1.34 plug-in stereo and Rapidus. That's what that's supposed to mean. Version 1.01. NTSC XLXE. That's good. CPU type 6502C, 1.79 megahertz. FX core on your VBXE is up to date. Got stereo. You got Rapidus, and it's inactive because it's not plugged in. And we got all this stuff here, colors, all that stuff. Leave it at the defaults. Now there we've got Rapidus core disabled. It hasn't detected Rapidus because Rapidus is off and it's disconnected from the header. Let's change the stock XE because the high speed OS isn't really needed. So there we go. So we save this. Save to profile 1. Now, like I say, now you've got 3 profiles. We've got profile 3, profile 2, profile 1. So that's all good. So let's power off. Let's reconnect the ground wire for the core, Rapidus core. Pop that back on, being sure to put it on the right pins. And let's just see if this all plays beautifully well together. Turning on. Oh, this should be classic, I think. Unless got it turned. It's probably turned off actually. Let's have a look. Right. If we turn this on, be sure to change the PBI ID from 0 to 2 because Rapidus is on ID 0. That caught me out the last time. Disk off. Good. Looks good. Right, now Rapidus. Oh, is it disabled? So we'll turn it on. Save. The keyboard seems to work on this machine, by the way, so that's good. Is the core enabled? We should boot into the 6. Yeah, no, we haven't. Why is that? This should surely be because we're in classic mode. That's right. We're in classic mode in Rapidus. So let's go into Rapidus setup with inverse set. Let's change to Rapidus. Let's get out of here, save and exit, and we've rebooted again. Now we are in Rapidus OS. And it all looks pretty good. Click on drive B, see what we've got. Now UFlash works quite nicely at 20 megahertz, so see if we can put Altera Basic on one of the basic slots. Case is cleaned up reasonably well, but that weird patination on the bottom, I kind of got rid of it, but this just proves that the lid still goes on, by the way. It does go on. I did get rid of that patination on the bottom to a certain extent, but it's so desperately deeply ingrained, it hasn't completely gone away, but the machine looks very nice from the top actually. So yes, let's see if we can put Altera Basic on slot 2. Try that. See, flat. Whoa, look at that. Look at the speed of that flash. Alright, let's give it a meaningful title. I mean, it's just breakneck speed stuff. We can put the Altera OS as well on here. Try that. This is 16K flash. Watch this. Whoa. Awesome. Oops. I'm picking flash descriptions, by the way. I should have gone through the menus. Oh, so. Oops. Okay, so let's go into the ultimate menu. And now we've got Altera Basic. If we press escape, it asks you to save changes, and we press yes. It says it's saved, and it says reboot required. That's okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Right, now let's get a side cartridge and see if ATRs and whatnot work. I don't remember which compact flash card's got all the good stuff on. Lots of sockets and things all over the desk. Right. Yeah. Right. Turn the hard disk on. Boot drive on this one. Config sys on partition 3. Yes. That looks all good. So let's go into the loader. Booting the operating system, then it'll boot the loader. Should do. Go. Loader. Come on, come on. You can do it. Have I got to put an F04 in here? Come on. The first failure doesn't like. Yeah, that switch was in the wrong. Let's try again. Come on. Hey, we're in. Must not have the thing seated properly. So far so good. Reads a compact flash card. So what we're going to run? What runs at 20 megahertz? Let's make sure that. Let's make sure disk images work. Now this is a map file. This simply tells the loader that it needs to mount side one disk image drive 1 and side 2 disk image on drive 2 and reboot. Try this. That looks pretty fast. That's working really well. Press the button, swap disks, enter. I realise we've got no sound here. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. Because it's enabled. Or have we got sound? Can you hear anything there? Can't tell. I've got the preview muted. Can't tell. Yeah, there's no. I can't hear anything on the preview. Yeah. I'll have a quick look at that. Testing, right. Can you hear anything now? Ah, good. Good. Right, let's go and try something else then. Got a pop in it. Yeah, it will do. It'll completely stink the audio quality from this USB capture card. Like a fiver. I was just delighted that it worked with PAL and NTSC machines. Although it could be at the source. The pop could be at the source. It could actually be the fact it's accelerated. Possible. But that's not for me to worry about that stuff at the moment. Let's try something else. Yump. Well, this stuff's all going to run at the same speed. I mean, it'll load quick. I mean, watch how quickly this loads. NTS. It's PAL only, isn't it? Damn. Yeah. Why would anybody want one of these? Is there anything runs on NTSC machines at all? Anything? Newman doesn't. Don't think. Oops. There's not a lot on here actually. E-type, does that work? Oh, that loads. Yeah, it's most of the systems had a way around NTS and PAL, says Hook. Yeah, it's a software. It really is, as far as I'm concerned. It's a software thing. You can write these things so that they work under both. I appreciate that it's a lot more difficult, especially when you've got a game that's heavily tied to the vertical blank and stuff, but you know, it's all part and parcel of making something that works. Maybe with demos it's a bit too critical, but yeah, in my opinion, most stuff should adapt itself and sense the hardware and configure itself accordingly. There's an old version of the GUI X because I haven't got that on the this is really old as well. Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Mouse? Here, mouse, where are you? Mousey! Where did I put the mouse? You would think I would put the mouse somewhere that I could find it easily. Look in this drawer. But, there we are. Found it. Here's a mouse. Now this is a really, really old build. Someone was saying the other day why it'll be nice when the GUI has a... Where I got this thing on? Be nice when the GUI can have it has a file browser that you can use and stuff, but of course to have a file browser, this is just a dummy thing, but to have a file browser, this is ancient. I bet this is going to stink. I can't see the mouse. Oh, that's weird. Got no... so this must have been an old version which actually wasn't coded up well to work at accelerated speed. So it's so old, this. Wow. So there's not a great deal I can do. I can open another window, but I have no idea where the mouse is. I should have flashed a ROM version on. Oh no, that's enough of that. So much software on the Amiga requires PAL. Fortunately, the A4000 has a jumper, so I just left it at PAL. Well, that would be, yeah, that would be a lot easier than having to actually swap chips. Right, so... Oh, what the hell? That was a bit glitchy. Oh, crikey. I think we've got a bit of jitter on the card removal flag, perhaps. Pull the card, put the card back in. No, 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 no. Oh dear. I haven't applied this stability fix that Atari recommends. Where am I? Awful. It's probably worth doing, but I'm going to try these F04 chips in here. I knew I'd be glad I socketed this chip. So anyway, the Thorax says put an F04 instead of not an F04, an F08. 74 F08 instead of 74 LS08, and coupled with a little modification on the external side. But I don't believe that this is an external select issue. Not at all. So I kind of think that's going to be a waste of time. It's a slight jitter on something. Definitely your capture device, yeah. It's shit. Capture device is shit. Right. This is why I'm going to hang on to this for a few days. I'm going to obviously make sure it's usable, at the very least. Oh no, is it hung with this chip? So the F08's actually made it worse. Interesting. Not bouncing around. How fast is search, out of interest? Pretty fast. It kind of works perfectly, almost. I don't know if you even have a side cartridge. You should get one. That's weird. That hangs. Did it hang with the side cartridge pulled out? No. Does it hang with the side cartridge present with the original 74 LS08? Excellent. I have a side and ultimate one. Good. This is what you start to notice little things like this, and the next thing you know, you're swapping the CPU, you're trying different 74 LS08s. Oh, and it just gets to be a real pain. But the thing, what at least in your case, Jason, if you really needed to, you can be perfectly capable of troubleshooting things, abilities with things yourself, aren't you? I mean, you can try different combinations of stuff if you hit a snag. Oh, I didn't put the damn cartridge in, did I? Boot. Good. I think I've got this. There's a couple of partitions on here. Yeah, been down that road quite a few times. Yeah, yeah. You know the score. Why? Why? Oh. Let's try. What? Let's try and turn it off. I wonder if the firmware on that. Whoa, hello. Hello? Hello? I wonder if the firmware on the Rapidus needs an update, because it was an issue with the 65H16 OS wouldn't boot with the PVI driver, but this is. It kind of works. Why is it? I can never ever say when I put one of these things in the machine anything better than it kind of works. Not making this stuff up, but I'll try the external select mod that Lasar actually. So it hangs with side. I'll mute this now anyway if it's making pop sounds. Oh, hello. Ah. It was trying to time out on PC Link. Okay, so let's have a look. Huh? Good. This looks really good. Okay then. So we've played with that for how long now? An hour and 13 minutes. Right. Alright then. So, it was a little bit rushed, but as I said, I wanted to show this thing working. So that is Rapidus in 130XE and NTSC 130XE. It works reasonably well. I think there's a couple of little glitches that seem to have been thrown up as soon as I threw a side cartridge in there. Not entirely unexpected, but what? Oh no, D1, so it's scanned to D3. Yeah, well, we've got this card has it's my usual setup. I have partitions starting at D3, D4, D5, 2 or 3 partitions, and I leave D1 and D2 free. Is it a little bit like they'd be on a PC for floppy drives, if you like, to boot from. I use Sparta X all the time, so it doesn't actually boot from a disk. So in the hard disk, you see boot drive here, D1. This is explained in the manual. Boot drive is used when Sparta.x is off, and configsys is used when Sparta.x is enabled, because all Sparta.x ever does is read configsys from the boot drive. You flip the switch though, right? I think I did the same. Yeah, I flipped the switch because the switch was in the wrong position. It was in the SDX position. It should be up in the loader position, and that definitely prevented it from booting the first time around. So we fixed that issue. So yeah, this BIOS is set to boot to read configsys from drive 3, which is why when we boot, Sparta.x comes up on 3, so that's all good and proper. So it's taken quite a while, that scanning PC link. Looking at the server now, wow. Feed pool for PC link. is something going on with PC Link. It may be an old version. Have a look before we wind up here. The config sys is obviously loading PC. BCL2. That's the only online drive is B. There we go. So this is the PC Link. And why it's such an enormously long hole at the start of the process. So was that actually what's going on here? Let's go into here. Let's enable Rapidus. Let's reboot. I got to power cycle this and see if it boots. It is doing a. Hey, is it? Seems to be polling every. PC Link command not acknowledged. Hi. Anyway, it booted anyway, and it's in a Rapidus mode, so I don't think there's a lot wrong with this. Not a lot wrong with this. Any anomalies, I think we put down to software. I'll have to investigate this PC Link thing. Anyway. Yeah, it basically works. So thanks Jason, and thanks to everyone who is watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back shortly with, where is it? Oh yeah. Where did I put that board? Where? Well, I've lost a motherboard. I can't find out where it is. Anyway, I'll be back with a... Oh, there it is. I'll be back with this. Doesn't boot. So that's what we'll look at in the next video. Dominic's non-booting 130XE. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.